Probably really echoey in here, huh? Sorry. I'll get closer and I'll talk quieter. Hi, Shantae here. I've had a really rough couple of weeks, and today I had the aha moment and realized, because I feel things more than most people. So I got started in my health journey. You all know that. That's all I'm here, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people are motivated to start or to keep going because they have a history of health issues in their family, like diabetes or heart disease or what have you. And I also have a history of health problems, but unlike physical health problems, I come from a family history of mental health problems. And depression, and generations of depression and bipolar disorder and alcoholism, decades of alcoholics, ADD, ADHD, but most significantly, depression. And today is the day, as I was laying in bed and not wanting to get out for, the second week in a row, which I have. There was only 2 days, one day officially that I didn't get out of bed. And I was sick. I didn't feel good. And I know there was no physical sickness in my body, but I was just emotionally sick. I was sad. And today's the day, and Brigida, thank you, something as small as your 3 goals list, which these are my 3 goals I'll go through in a second, really awoke me to the thing that the realization that normal people don't get this sad. And normal people don't get this affected by the chaos, I guess, that is life. And that instead of it being this abstract idea, recognizing that depression in a sense that chemical imbalances in my brain, that's something my whole family struggles with, on one side, on my father's side, and that a majority of my family members are on medication for it and have been prescribed prescription drugs for it. And I'm not on anything. I don't even take Tylenol anymore. And I guess I always the people that I surrounded myself with, I've surrounded myself with people like myself, and I have my entire life, and that's people that are fucked up. And like people who come with baggage and messes and fucked up lives, a past, and the more adversity you have faced, the more I will like you, because the more comfortable I am in that situation. And people who have lived sunshine and rainbowy lives honestly make me uncomfortable a little bit. And so I've always surrounded myself, and even growing up had friends and people like that. And so all of our problems are relative and relative to the situation around you too. That's why it's not until I'm an adult, until I'm stepping back from my life and viewing things from a different perspective and opening my eyes to what the rest of the world has, and how just broadening my perspective. And that growing up, I was a cutter in high school. At one point, I took 81 pills and put myself in the hospital getting my stomach pumped and drinking charcoal, which is hands down one of the worst experiences you could put yourself through. I wrote suicide notes. I cried. And I remember, and this even just happened the other day, that I felt like I was breaking apart so much that I had to hold my body together because I felt like outside of my skin, like I'd gone outside of these parameters of just of normal life. And I haven't been to that point. In the last few months, my fiance got sent to work out of town. I quit my job and am building a business, which takes an unbelievable amount of time, work, stress. Brian got sent to work out of town. I think I already said that. We're trying to plan a wedding, living in our parents' basements out of suitcases. Just no stability, and already Brian and I are such vastly different and independent people that we struggle to connect. And it's because we do everything completely opposite, which is why we work so well. He grounds me. He's the stability to my chaos. And but you separate us and put us in these different places, it was just bad and feeling out of control and chaotic. And the last few weeks especially, and that we're paying over $1,000 a month for a house in Boise that's sitting there empty, and it just all got to be too much. And it was this morning and that's why I've been missing kind of for 2 weeks, because when your job is to be happy and positive and help people, and you're not, it's almost impossible to work. And I've been wanting to be honest. I am honest, and that I'm not making this a highlight reel, but I also can't get on if I'm not happy, if I'm not in a good place. And it's about working through. Having a highlight reel, I don't have to have a highlight reel. I can tell you guys all my problems, but not in a way. I tell my coaches this all the time, that after I've worked through them and after I've really discovered them. So today, laying in bed, not wanting to get out of bed, and just feeling tired and out of control. And I recognized that versus it being an abstract idea like diabetes is, that someone who's got physical health problems goes to the doctor and they get tested, and you're either diabetic or you're not. And if you are, you change your lifestyle and it changes. I don't believe that I am depressed. I believe that depression is something I struggled with, and right now I'm feeling depressed. In the last few weeks, I'm feeling depressed. And because of my body chemistry, and because I feel really deeply. I believe in giving everything to what you're doing and living 150%. And so I can get into a place and feel that negative feeling more than other people. I also think that I have the ability to feel a happiness and a bliss that sometimes there's people I've met that just, without being that low, you can't get that happy. It's relative, right? And so today I woke up and Brigitte, one of my upline coaches, Brigitte Linford, has talked very openly about struggling with depression herself and growing up and being sad, and that she's changed that. But she posted today about goals and things, and the goals were just like basically trying to maintain control and stay happy. And I think I connected with them probably more than the normal person would, because I was looking at that, I was going, Brigitte must be feeling exactly what I'm feeling. And it's because Brigitte just moved and they just uprooted their life, and so exciting and amazing and whatever, but it's also hard to get feeling back in control and back pieced together despite your life. And once I'm there, when I'm pieced together, when I'm feeling good and in control and safe, I'm unbelievably happy. But when I'm feeling out of control and aimless and insecure in my surroundings and not sure what's happening or where I'm going, I plummet. And so, big changes, the announcement. It's the single scariest decision and choice I have ever made in my entire life, but I'm choosing to trust my instincts, and that's where it came from. It wasn't instinct. I just said it to Brian and didn't even realize what I had said. But we are moving back to Idaho Falls for a year. I was 7 years old when my parents took me to Disneyland, and I got off the plane and said I was never going back to Idaho Falls. And immediately after I graduated high school, I left, and I never came back. I wasn't here for more than 3 days for over 5 years. I didn't really talk to any of the old people in my life. I just completely detached myself, and that was my coping mechanism for dealing with the chaos and with my childhood wasn't all bad. I had a very great childhood, but there were some significantly negative, I don't even necessarily want to say adversity, not negative, because it's made me who I am today, but I dealt with some pretty significant adversity growing up, and I also ran away from that instead of just dealing with it. And that I had always viewed this place as a personal, for myself, people tend to internalize this when I say it. This is nothing about you, okay? I have always viewed this place as a personal failure. That if I had ever ended up back here, I would be failing. And it's because I always wanted to do something significant. I always wanted to do something meaningful and interact with these. I'm very creative and just artists and be in this community and do these big things. And I've always wanted a big career, and I've always wanted to be very successful. And in growing up in my head, I wasn't able to do any of that here. And so that's where my goals come in, because I'm doing it for Brian, is why I'm really coming here. And Brian sacrificed, came to Boise for me. If he had his way, we would be in the middle of nowhere where we couldn't see any houses, probably didn't see any people. And on the opposite, if I had my way, I'd be in the middle of Los Angeles or New York City or all those places that most people are like, oh my God, I'd never live there. That's where I want to be. And he made the sacrifice to come to Boise with me, and so I'm going to make a sacrifice to come here with him. And in that, it's going to force me to move forward and force me to deal with things and force me to grow in ways that I couldn't otherwise. But it's also forced me to drop to the lowest place I've been since I was probably in high school. So I woke up this morning, and I'm not going to do those days where I can't get out of bed anymore. I'm the only one that can control that. And recognizing that I can get that low, and that I'm have the struggle of dealing with feeling depressed versus just feeling sad. I'm going to put my level of control on myself. And I was watching a video the other day. I honestly found almost a little bit, I don't know, I could say offensive, just sad mostly, about a girl. She's a YouTuber. I don't even remember what her name is. I've got it open on some tab, and talking about how people without depression just don't understand that you just can't get happy, that you're just sad, and that it's just hard to feel better, and all this blah, blah, blah. And it pissed me off, because she's sitting there saying, and I think that's part of where I recognize that depression is something I actually struggle with, that normal people don't deal with this level of anxiety and anger and contempt and self-doubt that I've been dealing with. And she said that, well, it's just not that hard just to focus on the positive. That's not what you do. I don't get to just wake up and think and look at all the positive things and think, oh, that's positive. That makes me happy. That's not how it works. Even now, I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm safe, I'm secure, I'm all of these things, but that's not how it works. You've got to do things to make you happy. You've got to do the things and force yourself to do the things you don't want to do. Like you forced yourself to get out of bed. That's not good enough. You got to force yourself to do things to feel that happiness and to get in a place where you can be happy, to even be able to look at the positive things, fuck focusing on them, be able to get there where you can even openly recognize them. And so, no, it's just so hard to hit. And then her video was like, how it was her just sitting there talking about how sad it is to be sad and that she just can't be happy. Do something about it. Fucking do something about it, okay? That's an excuse. I have depression. You know what? I'm a fucking mess. Sometimes, honestly, Brian told me the other day that he said, he goes, I believe, and he's very rational, very logical, another reason why I have him around. And he said, you make me believe that Harry Potter is real. He's like, Santa Claus, you make me believe that Santa Claus is real because you're so, like, you're just so weird. You can't be by yourself in this. This has to be reality. And that's how I feel sometimes. Like, I feel crazy sometimes. And there's so much going on in here sometimes that I'm like, maybe I should rein that one back in. And I'm not going to anymore. And I'm letting go of all of that. And I'm letting go of just trying to focus on the happy. Some people that works. Some people just focusing on the positive is enough. And I've been feeling inadequate because that wasn't enough. Just listening to a motivational book and personal development isn't enough. I have to do more than that in order to get to a place where that personal development will even touch on me. Okay? So, Brigitte changed my life today. She posted her list of things, her goals. And I looked at those goals and I connected with them in a way that someone who hasn't been down can. And I can see where she's feeling this scary, out of control thing too. And so I wrote down my goals and my daily to-do list. And thank you, Brigitte. So this is it. This is my Erin Condren life planner. It's amazing. I love it. I'm obsessed. So I sat down today and drank my Shakeology, which I kept saying, man, I don't have this big story. I do. It makes me feel better almost immediately. And Brigitte is off all of her depression medication and vitamins and these things that the doctors prescribed to her by just drinking Shakeology. So apparently it's not that crazy. Drank my Shakeology and sat down to just let myself be creative without putting myself in a box and came up with my daily to-do list. It says, I am happy. Number 1, live in the positive. Meaning that instead of saying I am depressed or I have anxiety, I am feeling anxious. This is I am feeling. That's live in the positive. I am feeling anxious. I am feeling depressed. I am feeling sad. I am feeling angry. I'm not angry. I'm not defining myself as any of these negative things anymore. These are things that I'm struggling with, except for one thing. I'm a recovered alcoholic. I get to claim that. I'm a recovered alcoholic because I have everything in me to have been an alcoholic. I was acting and dealing in a lot of alcoholic behaviors. And the last 2 weeks, all I wanted to do was get drunk. And instead of eating pizza, okay? So I'm claiming that one, but that's a positive because I am recovered. But I'm allowed to say I am happy. I am strong. I am secure. I am focused. I am creative. I am a good coach. I am a good fiance. I'm allowed, but no, I'm not defining myself by the negative anymore. Number 2, empower and be empowered. One thing I always held against Idaho Falls, and I think I did it falsely and with a lack of perspective, was that there wasn't a significant or large enough creative community here for me to be involved in order to grow and be involved with the people that I wanted to be in. And that's just not true. It's just that unlike Boise, Boise has a really established community for just creative individuals that doesn't really exist here in Idaho Falls. And that's something I want to do while I'm here. And there's so many people, insanely talented people here. And I can think of like 15 off the top of my head that I just want to work with, and then I want to create a community for that. And I know that's going to make you feel less crazy when you're around other creative people. If you're really creative like me and you're just around rational, logical people like Brian and all of his friends and that stuff all the time, you feel crazy, and you're not, okay? Your brain just works in a different way. Number 3 is focus on the bookends. This is the one I got from Brigida. And the bookends are the beginning and the end of my day. Everything in the middle is my books, but my bookends. And then I feel this like almost OCD desire to have this very structured ritual for my morning and my evening to just feel in control and like get set into a place where like set into a reality out of my head to where I can even function and like interact within it. And with that goes let go to be in control. Look at how nice this is, right? Let go to be in control. And that is where my morning ritual comes in, which if you guys are interested about that, I've had a couple people ask. I think that's a little weird, but so I don't want to just make a video, but if you're interested, ask for a video and I'll post one. But these are the things that I'm focusing on to be in control. And let go to be in control is releasing the idea that I have control over the end result, or I have control over anything with the exception of my intentions and my reactions to the world around me. And that's the only way that I can stop feeling things to the level that I'm feeling them, to where they can either bring me down or lift me up. I need to just be here and kind of deflect these things. I soak up energy and I take things on that I shouldn't necessarily drag me down. So you can be happy. You aren't depressed. You don't have anxiety. You don't have any of those things. Those are just feelings that you're feeling. And because you can feel that low, you can also feel this high. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to get off and I'm going to go do my little morning ritual, even though it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because I didn't want to get out of bed and was just trying to get out of my head and ask for help. That's what I'm doing. This is me asking to be held accountable and getting rid of a little bit of a level of my highlight reel that I can't always be that perfect, happy person all the time, but I'm always going to come at it from a perspective of growth. I cannot always promise it's going to be a perfect perspective of positivity necessarily, but from a perspective of growth. So I'm moving to Idaho Falls for a year. I know there's a lot of people excited about it, and I'm being excited. I'm scared. And it's a huge change in every way possible, but I'm excited. I'm very excited, and this is going to unlock opportunities for both me and Brian and us, and being happy together that we wouldn't have otherwise. And yeah, so I'm going to go be happy, because I am happy. I'm just sometimes feeling a little depressed. I'm Shantae, founder of Carpe Diem Fitness, The Confessional, and Team Phoenix. Subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more about this crazy, fucked up journey I'm on to just be happy. And if you have any questions, or if you have any video requests, post them in the comments below. Thumbs up. Share with all of your friends. Share it to the other sad, unhappy girl. You don't have to. You're not alone in feeling so sad and so angry that you don't even know how to feel your body anymore, unless you do things like want to cut yourself or drown it out, because it's that intense. You're not alone, and you're not abnormal. You're a little bit messed up, but that's not a bad thing. That makes me like you more. So, namaste. Love you. Bye.